Welcome back to Kawasakiville, and we are freewheeling. Well, at least we're two-wheeling because we've got the rear wheel back. So we'll be putting it back on again. And that'll involve putting all this clubber back on again too, which is ready and waiting. As is the bag of shit that I bagged up for the rear wheel, including spacers, nuts and bolts and things. But first up, I think I'll give it a bit of a clean up because it's easier while it's off. And that means foaming. I think I've got some in my wine. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. So going back to this, we've got all new bearings fitted, thanks to Chris. If you want to see how not to replace rear wheel bearings or wheel bearings period, do check out my Yamaha R6 series, because you can do it without all the tools, but it's better to leave it to someone who has got them. Right, that's that all cleaned up. Next up, sprocket, like that. Yeah, well that fits, good. Next up, these boys, like so. Like so. Not tightened up yet. And strangely, these don't actually screw into the hub. They've actually got nuts underneath. It's kind of strange, isn't it? Glad I'm not the only one that doesn't think things through. Wasn't expecting the Spanish Inquisition, let alone the Japanese intuition. So yeah, let's try again, except from the other way around. Duh. Yes, that's a lot easier when you do it the right way around. Sometimes I wonder about myself. Anyway, in terms of how tight do you do these, as tight as you bloody well can. I'm sure there's torque settings out there, but you don't want these mothers coming undone, which is why we do the next stage, which is flipping these special bloody $10 each washers, so that they don't undo. And that involves just a screwdriver. Ironically, they're kind of pliable. So yeah, we're just levering that up slowly with a flat blade so that it rests against the side of the nut, and it will do, and then just stops it moving around. And we do that on two faces. Like that. Probably not the best bit to paint, honestly. Yeah. Whatever. We're good. Next up, just drop that spacer in the right way around, hopefully. And that fits in between those rubber doofers. Those rubber doofers there. Okay. That's that side ready. The other side just involves that and its spacer. Uh-oh. There's another spacer. Where'd that come from? Bloody hell. Yeah, so I was right the first time with that spacer because I kind of remembered it amazingly. And this boy goes in there. And then that nestles up to there, obviously. So, what's next? So this time around I'm using the proper motorcycle jack rather than trying to risk messing around with getting a jack in there, which just about worked last time. So, thanks to the beautifully flat bottom of the Kawasaki, we are airborne off these and ready to kind of slot everything in, I guess. I have precisely 30 minutes to do it before a racing team call, so wish me luck. Got all the rest of the bits and pieces lined up, including the wheel, obviously, and yeah, ready to go, I guess. So, stage one, it's all a question of remembering to slot everything in sequence. So stage one is that chain adjuster, and then the wheel, that side. And again, first up, that spacer that I just found, remembering the other spacer is now inside the wheel. Then we slot the wheel on, and we poke it all through. Actually, I should probably fit that to the wheel before I start this. So possibly the trickiest bit is getting that last spacer in, although we've still got that boy to put in. And that's just a question of getting the axle to just slightly poke out beyond the drum brake housing, and then slip that in. So now we're going to slip that in and push it all the way through, ready for our castle nut and our new split pins, cotter pins. And job done. Nicely, though I say so myself. Yeah, good. So we're all through. Everything's spaced correctly, and yeah, we're all good. With 25 minutes to spare, I might add. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Just gonna snug that up with my 27mm and put the side stand down before releasing it off the jack. Yeah, we'll talk that up later and put the cotter pin in. Okay, let's let the jack down, see what happens. Okay, coming down. Me wanted to lean this way. Very good. Clear. And there we go. And that's kind of interesting from an aesthetic point of view in terms of that rear tail and whether I actually want to bring it further forward or not. There's not much scope to do that without a lot of complication. But that is not what this episode is all about. So, you may have noticed I didn't hook the chain up when I did all that, which is a lot easier. I mean, if you have to hook the chain up as well, it's a little bit more complicated. Anyway, a good reason for that, we're swapping this chain out, and that's the next job. And cleaning that up. But, talking of what things look like, I mean, they do look pretty good, I think. Yeah, both sides. The other thing we've got to sort out on the rear end is the brake pedal. And ironically, when I tried to put it back on, this fell off. And I have no idea kind of where that went. So I need to look that up on some kind of manual, hopefully online. And put the brake pedal back as well as the chain. Yes, our sexy green chain. Hopefully it'll fit. So let's go through all that palaver. Again, if you watch the CB750 series, you'll have already seen this. You can skip it. But we're just going to unclip and clip a new chain on, hopefully. And talking of brakes, or the that part of the operation, we have to obviously line that up and then fix that as well. And by fix, I mean reconnect. Okay, onto the chain then. So what we've done here is simply just gently push that clip over the retaining rivet, which is easiest done in a downward motion, as you can see. And there you can see at the bottom it's free and clear, so we can undo that, and then we're going to do our clever roping trick by passing the new chain, connecting the new chain to that to pass it through onto the front socket. So there's that front facing side of the joining clip, and we're ready to put the new chain on. Right, I use the old clip just for the hell of it. So we're all clipped up and ready to go. One green chain hanging on the wall. No, that's not right, is it? Ooh, there we go. Coming out the other end. Lovely. That'll do. As usual, completely the wrong size. This was supposed to be for a KZ650B, so it's not my screw up. Anyway, way too many bloody links, so we're going to have to do our usual trimming. Anyway, these type of clips are much easier than the newer ones that you have to kind of press in, using all this palaver. plates and God knows what. Yeah. Several major force tools and yes, one shortened chain. And there it is, ready to clip up. And there's our new missing link, ready to go on. Cool. Just a little push. Job done. Now we'll just tension it up at the back using our chain tensioners. Look at all that matching green. Lovely. Which is one of the reasons I didn't tighten that up too much and put the split pin in and everything else. Seeing as it's going so well on the rear end, I think it's time to tackle the shock absorbers. So the good news is I've got some 12mm bolts. I bought something else which are of course the wrong size. They're the perfect size for these, including going through the frame. That shoulder will go through the frame. They're a little bit excessive on this end, I guess, but I don't think that's a problem. The possible bad news is that the hole that I drilled is not big enough for them. So let's take this side off, see what happens, see what state of collapse we get with the bike, which could be interesting in itself, and we'll see if that fits through, shall we? Okay, not too much collapse, which is good. So what I'm going to do is take off the bottom factory bolt, which actually just screws into the frame there, and hope to hell that that fits, but I think it will. And then we'll sort out the top end, because we are going to need to drill a bigger hole. Yes. Oh yes, time for some metric to imperial conversion. God bless Google. 12 inches, 12 millimeters to inches fraction is 1530 seconds. And yeah, we got one of those. Cool. That'll be this one. We might need to go up a bit, but let's start there. We want it to be as snug as possible. Yes, we're finally through with this drill bit. These are useless drill bits, I have to say. I can't tell you what not to buy because there's no label on it. I can tell you I bought some decent drill bits, Milwaukee, for my battery powered drills. They're good. So as always, just spend a little bit more and get better quality tools. One side on. Just, boy. So I had to adjust this down and then use our mate, the big screwdriver, against the tyre to lever the frame up to get that bolt through. And it's finally through. I haven't tightened it, but it's there. Now in focus. So I've got to repeat the process on this side, obviously. Looking forward to that. Not. Anyway, I think it looks good. Don't you? Yeah. Well, there's the other side button down, and that was a lot easier. Even the drill performed better. Yes, that thing. Or the bit. Yeah, so that's good. And they're all tightened down to torque setting bloody tight. Yeah, cool. Like it. Lovely jubbly. So our chain collection is growing. Pretty much ties up the rear end, all in all. I know I've got to adjust them, but yeah, kind of done. So on that note, consider yourself rear-ended, and thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe down here. Give the video the thumbs up if you thought it was any good, which you must do, because otherwise you wouldn't still be watching, right? And yeah, encourage others to watch my lunacy.